Hey guys, and welcome to the second part of my editorial masterclass. Now, if you haven't seen the first part, you have to go to watch that for this one to make sense. So there are 4 parts in total, so stay tuned for the next one.
Now transitioning to the second look, I'm using a Fenty Beauty lipstick, Mademoiselle lipstick in Ballerina Blackout. And I'm using this because I still want to keep everything creamy and flexible, and as I'm building up the looks, I want to be able to move the layers and add or take from the makeup away. So this is why I'm still trying to use creamy products as I go through my looks. So I'm adding just a tiny bit of product as I go and blending it out. And you'll see throughout my looks, this is something I tend to do. I don't apply a lot of product from one go, but I build up thin layers. I'm blending out again the concealer that gathered up underneath. Again, it's not a problem for me or for editorial. As I said, I want to have everything as flexible and movable as it can be, so I can always adjust and fix products. So I'm kind of going into a sculpting kind of shape, but also elongated and going upwards, so it's flattering to the eye. I usually use those lifting tapes, or I used to use those lifting tapes. I try to hold back from that lately, or not use them as much, so I'm trying with the makeup to lift the eye shape as much as possible. Going in between, back and forth in between brushes. I'm using also clean brushes to kind of blend out the lipstick or the cream shadow, because at the end of the day, for me, a lipstick can be a blush, can be an eyeshadow, can be everything in editorial. Again, building up that intensity or that color, and as I'm finishing up the eye makeup, I'm very gently touching the skin, so so I have a smooth transition in between the color and the skin. Going back and forth, making sure everything is blended out nicely and evenly, and it looks symmetrical. Again, I'm leaving a little bit more from this process so you can see exactly how much it takes. Then, as you can see now, as I said before, I'm fixing up that lipstick, and I will be fixing it up some more along the way, because dark lipstick is always tricky. Then I'm going with the Natasha Denona Coloco palette with the lightest pink shade, and I'm very gently setting that cream lipstick. As you can see, it already creased a tiny bit, but again, not an issue for editorial. I don't necessarily want to have long-lasting products, at least not yet, not if I want to build up more looks in one shoot, because as long-lasting or as waterproof a makeup product is, as harder it is to move it, or you'll have to remove the whole eye makeup to start over. Then I'm going with Cosette Beauty. This is again a top coat, very sparkly. It has micro sparkle particles, so it kind of gives that wet effect to the eyelid. I did that for the first look, but this is a little bit more intense, so it looks even more glossy. Going on and on the inner corner and on the eyelid, again fixing up those lips. Dark lipstick is hard. Then going with the Galactic face powder. It's a very nice with a very nice texture, and also it it's very thin. That's super important to me. This is called the Galactic Finishing Luminous Face Powder, and I use a deeper shade to kind of bronze up the skin a little bit more. I like that contrast in between those cooler eye color and lip with the warm cheekbones. Then with the Hourglass highlighter palette, I'm going again very lightly on top of the cheekbones to bring a little bit more light. And as you'll see now, going further into the looks, I'm starting to add more powdery textures as I go along. Again, I'm fixing up those creases before I apply mascara. This mascara is the Nabla Cosmetics The Vicious mascara, which is very intense and very volumizing. Again, I want a more lashy look, but not too strong. Again, it's still about the lip, but a more powerful look, because you see I will add something to the lips to make the look different than the one before. And going with my baby lashes brush, I'm adding some more mascara on the bottom lashes. Then I'm trying to fix any fallout. I am touching up the freckles a little bit more because I applied a few layers of product on the face, and now I'm going to the lips. First, I'm going into the Viseart eyeshadows, and again, as I said before, this is a process. I thought it would look good, and I am going to apply it, and before I realize it's really not going with it's a bad 80s look, but you'll see at the end I didn't remove it completely, and it still added something. It did take part of the final look, but again, you'll see my process. You'll see that I realize now it's not what I was looking for. So now I'm going back into the lipstick that I used to kind of buff out that metallic reflection, that kind of violet metallic reflection, and I'm going lightly and buffing that lipstick over, and it looks a little bit better, but I'm still not completely happy. So I'm going into the Natasha Denona. This is a depotted eyeshadow from the Lila palette, and now it's going into the direction that I wanted. So I wanted a more like a warmer kind of reflex to the lips. So this would be the second look. So I'm still using the lip I did before, but I made it a little bit different, so I can get one more look from everything I did in the first look. So this is the final these are the final pictures. Again, not retouched, just the light was adjusted.